Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to an SP Reviews where today I'm going to be checking out a track from an act named Const71 titled Take It or Leave It. This is an instrumental, I think it's an Ozone Park cover. So if we switch over to here, we have ourselves a track on the screen on YouTube. We're going to listen through it from start till finish and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go. I mean, I think it's one of the most kind of positive, uplifting. Like, I'm going to go back a little bit and play the intro again, but just immediately with those guitars and bass, it's such an uplifting intro there. We'll go back a little bit. The bass and drums come in, it's effortless, and the keys as well. It's charming with these high piano parts here as well. And it's just such movement throughout the track. We're not hesitating to include new elements. We're happy to kind of add like a different sort of like move to the right cymbals at a certain part, and then like add sort of a twinkle of like a higher register there. We also had this like really intense guitar lead going on with the steel strings in that earlier part. It was just dope, man. It's really cool. If there's anything I would say at this point, I think it would be nice to have things come down a little bit more or like build a bit more. Just like slightly more intense variations in the dynamic range. I don't think it's like a mixing issue. I don't think it's an instrumental issue. It's just simply that like if there was anything, because everything else is really, really superb. Because there's variations in the piano leads here. I mean, he's an incredible guitarist. He or she, should I say. Another fantastic guitarist, eh? Vanja Grastik, bass Ivan Karanik, and piano Polina Chorna. Fantastic, honestly. Really blown away by this. Vanja, Ivan, and Polina did incredible work on their parts. Drums, Maurizio Antonini, videography Bethany Fer, and production Konstantin Derekas. Yeah, awesome. Great song. I'm really satisfied with it. I thought they made a good effort. I know we'll talk about that though more in the conclusion. Because welcome to the conclusion of my review of this track from an act named Const71. This is a cover of an Ozone Park song titled Take It or Leave It, the instrumental. Now, I'm not sure what this track is about, as it's an instrumental. I would say by the video that we're looking at people who are in a relationship and they're trying to figure out whether they should accept each other for who they are or whether they should kind of not and move on. I'm not totally sure whether, like when they were separate, whether they were like happy to have met the person, they didn't decide to go further, or if they were happy because they were. If we go back to the video, like into the real, yeah. They've taken more videos. They're taking more photos together. So they did get together in the end. That's good. But yeah, I think that's a cool story, something to write a song about. I think that because again, there's lack of vocals. If we move into the track itself, at 2 minutes 51, it's right within that 2 to 4 minute sweet spot where it's not too short that we're missing context, and it's not too long that the existing themes might become a bit overrun and sort of like overdone, I like that we had such an incredible attention to detail with the guitar, bass, drum, and key parts. I like that we had set sort of sections there. Even if I would have liked a little bit more variety in the perceived intensity and loudness of certain bits, which we could have done by being maybe a little bit more sort of aggressive with taking away elements. I could have had like less of the drums sometimes, maybe less of the bass sometimes, or like less of the keys. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not that I don't think this was done badly. I thought it was done really well. It's just because I'm impressed with what I've heard, I'm just sort of nitpicking, effectively. You know what I mean? But the transitions were smooth, the structure of it was nice to follow along to, it was very sweet, and the song honestly flew by. The guitar parts that we had within this track were stunning. I was really happy with the way the rhythm parts went with steel strings. They had a nice sort of glow to them, exploring some interesting sort of major, minor, and sus chords there, so maybe some sus fourths or sus seconds. With a lead string guitar part there was absolutely stunning. I loved the technique shown within those lead parts. The proficiency is incredible. And it was great that we didn't sort of rely on one or two sort of pathways across the fretboard there. We were exploring different ways of approaching those lead bits in the upper register. We weren't afraid to do some like hammer-on pull-offs, some slides, some bends and stuff like that. We had our techniques absolutely sussed, and more importantly, they were tuned for. They didn't sound like we were trying to take away from the main theme. The leads added to it, which means, in my opinion, I don't think there was any filler, and all of those hit just the way they needed to. The bass parts that came in were nice and rounded, and they were a bit more sort of conservative than we had with the guitar parts. I think primarily because they were trying to sort of support in the low end. They reinforced the root notes of the chords we had in the progressions really neatly, and they had a nice sort of presence and sort of glow in the mix as well. The tone of them was cool. The drums that we had a great sense of pace to them. We were very competent on the kit there. It was a tight performance. There's no like off notes or anything like that. We had a great sense of keeping the tempo and all that. It was nice and brisk as well. We didn't overplay. There was pocketing when required so that things didn't become a little bit sort of like overdone. We understood that like a lot of the focus was in that guitar lead, for example, or when the keys went up to the upper register. So the drums were kind of trying to keep with the bass. It was also providing sort of a platform for the rest of the other harmonic or multifaceted polyphonic instruments to go on. The keys, I think they were wonderful. I really appreciated what we were trying to do with the mid-register stuff, having a bit of color on the sides of the stereo field there in the mid-range of those chords, but also some of the twinkly sort of like higher parts on the right hand, exploring the upper register there to kind of even things out, as a lot of the guitar parts were in that mid to upper mid. There was a twinkle with the piano leads there that are sort of niched nicely with them, should I say. And when you put these elements together in a way where it never overcomplicated the main sort of theme or harmony in a way that was detrimental to the listening experience, it's a track that sounds, with its major chords, the pace of it, the speed of it, the consistency of the mood of it with the perceived loudness and stuff like that. It sounds like a track where we're going through a daily life, things are good as they are, and it's almost like inferring due to a lack of negativity and trying to sort of like change things up too much, that things are good and we shouldn't really mess with what's broken. That's what the chord progression, the lead lines, everything else kind of communicates to me. And when you think about the take it or leave it, the title there, it kind of makes sense. So I think that the chord, the theme that we had there, the main idea with the way it was played together with a really wonderful instrumental performance there and a nice way of seamlessly transferring through the song in a way that was great to listen to. We've just ticked all the boxes. And then it's just finally the studio recording, mixing and mastering, where I talk about the dynamic range, wanting a bit more of that. I don't think it was a production thing, like a studio side thing. I think because things sound nice and balanced. Nothing was squashed sounding or anything like that. The guitarist, bass, drums, and keys the leveling was done really well in the stereo, in the frequency spectrum, and just in the mix itself. Things were surrounded you in the headphones as well. There was nice, again, the keys when they're on the right hand, they went to the right side of the stereo field, which makes sense in that respect. All the fundamentals were adhered to. Again, it wasn't squashed. There was dynamic range there. Just again, it's more. I think it's more instrumental, sort of like changes in loudness I wanted. But aside from that, very, very good. And I think that it was nice and loud without pumping, so the bus compression limiting was handled really well. And I mean, effectively, this is like quite a positive review from me from this track from Const71. This is a cover of Ozone Park's Take It or Leave It, the instrumental, and hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please go show them some love via their various social medias and YouTube page, and stay cool and stay safe. And please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as I think the hell more than ever thought of crazy stuff going on in the world. And I'll catch you in the next review. Spiderhands out.